What's up, Dippers? Dipper Dam 1. I have poor connection as usual. My surprise, not in the slightest. Trying to figure out how to prop up my phone here. Use this McDonald's cup. Can I do that? Is it gonna work? Shit! Son of a bitch! That ain't gonna work. How am I gonna do this? It's not like I have my OtterBox on here. If I had my OtterBox on here, it'd be a little bit easier, but I don't. Maybe I'll just hold it with this cone. Nope, shit. There's nothing. No, I'm gonna use this for my spit. Son of a bitch! Try this. Y'all can see that too, can't you? Damn it. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. Why can't I prop this shit up? No, cancel. I don't want to stop streaming. Okay, how about we do... You know what? This is just a clusterfuck. That works. I guess you can kind of see me. Alright, so how y'all doing? Nobody's watching yet. Watch. Come on, I gotta have somebody. Anybody? Hello? Somebody join my live stream. It's not like I announce my live streams. I just kind of do them when I do them. And I don't feel like going through and editing videos. So fuck it. That's how it's gonna be. Anyway, so tonight we are in Oak Grove, Kentucky. It is 10:30. I drove all night last night. Got here around 6:30-ish, I think. Yeah, about 6:30 this morning. And went to bed around 7. And slept until about 8 o'clock tonight. So that was fun. I gotta get up and out at 4 this morning so I can head over to Nashville to drop my load off. But I figured it's been a little while since I've made a video, so I figured might as well go ahead and do it now. Works for me. I got plenty of time on my hands, so as usual, Copenhagen Southern Blend, because that's what we dip here, Copenhagen Southern Blend. I don't know. See, I don't ever know if it's backwards. Like, it shows for me that it's backwards. So, like, because I'm using the front-facing camera, that Copenhagen is showing backwards, but I don't know. I've never actually gone back and watched my live streams to see if they actually are backwards, like mirrored image or whatever. I don't fucking know. I guess it really don't matter. But anyhow, so let's pack a lip. I have opened this can. It's not a fresh can. I think I only have one can out of a log left at the moment. That's about a half a can. Maybe a little bit less once I pack it down a little more. Yeah. A little bit less than half a can, but that's alright. Put in a... Yep, that'll work. I don't put in as big of pinches as I used to. I used to fucking load my lip like crazy. Now I've cut back a little bit. You know, I mean, normally by the time I'm done with it, I've had it in for about 2 hours anyway, so it doesn't really matter how much you put in if you're going to leave it in for that long. I just do it that way because I drive. Plus, it's kind of hard to take a huge pinch while you're sitting there driving down the road. At least for me it is, I don't know. But I have gotten better at, I don't know why I didn't do it this time. I have gotten a little bit better at, well, of course I'm going to fuck it up, opening it with one hand, so that at least makes it a little bit easier while I'm driving. But our spitter of the day is a good old RC Cola bottle. It's about halfway full already. Anyhow, what I want to talk about, a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm in Oak Grove, Kentucky right now. Like I said, I got a 6:15 appointment in the morning, or drop-off time, I should say, in the morning, just north of Nashville. I'm gonna be there around 5 something, so I can get there, pick up a trailer. I don't have a pre-assigned load. Basically, alright, a pre-assigned load would be, alright, I already have a load, but I get assigned another one in advance, so that way I know what I'm doing after I drop it off. I don't have one of those. I figure I'm probably going to be picking up a load in Cromwell, Kentucky, which is, I believe, an hour and a half to 2 hours away from Nashville. I can't remember, but something like that. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Nashville. I got the hiccups. Bear with me. Ugh. Get those fuckers to go away. Or not. Yeah, no, I think they're gone now. I'll probably be doing that, and then that, if that's the case, that'll take me out to Norfolk, Virginia, and I don't know where I'm going from there. I'm supposed to be home next Friday. Not tomorrow, but next Friday. Actually, I need to remember to put in for that. I completely forgot to put in for my home time. So I got to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last chance I got to put in for that. So normally I do it right when I come out, but I've kind of been rocking and rolling and sleeping through the day, driving at night. So it's kind of hard to send in a message to my fleet manager when she is only there from 7:30 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon Eastern time. So that even makes it difficult when I'm in a separate time zone. Not really, because normally I'm only in Central. I don't get very far west. Though I did go to Denver. Did I talk to you guys about that? I was in Denver a couple weeks ago. That was fun. I hadn't been there in a while. They've had me, it's kind of weird. Alright, so for the longest time they've been keeping me around Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, the eastern shore of Virginia and Maryland, Delaware. They've been keeping me around that general area for quite a while. It's been a while since I've been up north or anything. Actually, it's been quite a while. Well, these last 2 weeks, this week and last week, I've spent the majority up around the Great Lakes, which is crazy. I don't go up there very often. I'm just gonna be honest, I don't normally like going up there because I have to deal with Chicago. I hate dealing with Chicago. So much of a mess. There's such a high volume of traffic, and they got construction going on. It's just a mess. And a not very truck-friendly place at all. But I have been up around Wisconsin a lot. And I will say I do like Wisconsin. You know, there's not a whole lot of truck stops in Wisconsin, but it's okay because the ones they have, the one I stayed at last time was great. And the place that I picked up at was amazing. So I got there at like, I think it was at 1 o'clock in the morning or something. And normally in these places that you go to, even in the middle of the night, you got a ton of trucks there. They're all sitting there idling, making a bunch of noise. I pulled in, I was the only truck there. I thought the place was closed. I was like, what? There ain't no way there's anybody here. And so I look at my appointment time, make sure it's right, and it was. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just try to find the shipping office. There's nobody outside at all. It's completely quiet. It was out in the woods, so I mean there wasn't a noise. So I shut my truck off to walk inside because I was like, man, I don't want to disrupt this quiet. You know, it's really nice. So I walked in and I'm like, am I in the right place? Are y'all even open? And the guy's like, yeah, we're open. And I said, all right. So I gave him my shipping number, and he's like, yeah. He goes, just go ahead and pull into whatever door you want. I said, all right. He goes, try to go on the end because I think your load's over there on the end. I said, okay. So I pulled all the way onto the end and sat there, cut my truck off, rolled my windows down, opened all the windows back here up. And man, it was nice. It was like, I think it was like 70 degrees, no humidity, a nice little breeze blowing through. I mean, it was beautiful. It was to the point where I couldn't even like talk in a normal tone of voice while I was outside or in the truck. I had to whisper, like, cause I was talking to some people, and they're like, why are you talking so quiet? I said, you guys will not believe how quiet it is here. I said, I don't want to talk loud because I feel like I'm going to disturb the peace, because it is, like, it was amazing. You couldn't hear anything. So that was one thing I did like about being out there, and I really like. I'll say I really do like Wisconsin. The people there, as far as I've seen, are really nice, and they don't. I don't know. It's almost like it's kind of strange. They got somewhat of a southern hospitality going on, at least the places that I've been. Everybody was nice. Good Lord, if you go to Wisconsin, you gotta eat their cheese. Beforehand, I thought, oh, Wisconsin cheese, all cheese is the same. No, it is not. I will tell you that. Actually, this past time was the first time I've ever had true Wisconsin cheese curds. Oh, that was good. Now, I know places other than Wisconsin do cheese curds. They are nothing like the real deal, I will tell you that. Wow. Anyhow, make good fried chicken too, which is funny. But I don't know. Anyway, what else am I talking about? But yeah, I picked up this load. Let's see, the last load I had went to Michigan. I don't know how I feel about Michigan, really. No offense to anybody who lives in Michigan, but y'all drivers are ridiculous. The lengths that they will go to get in front of a truck are ridiculous. The amount of accidents I've almost had in Michigan is ridiculous. I don't know why y'all drive so bad. I don't know what the deal is. It's almost like being in North Carolina or Atlanta or something. It's like, good Lord. Where's the hurry? Where's the fire? Come on. And in construction zones, that's the other thing I don't understand. Why, for one, the construction zone speeds are pretty slow. And for two, nobody obeys them. See, my thing is, my company just started this little thing where, you know, they've always had this. I've got basically a camera system. It's not in the cab. It's outward facing, and it's a collision mitigation system, they call it, where it monitors lane departure without a turn signal, which mine monitors lane departure even with a turn signal. I think it's broken a little bit. Monitors following distance, and now it's monitoring speed, which is stupid. Following distance, I can't be closer than 2.5 seconds to the vehicle in front of me. Otherwise, if I am for more than 45 seconds in a row, it will send a message to the safety department, and they will call me and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Lane departure, I can't remember. I think it's like 5 times you depart a lane without a turn signal within a minute. Mine is broken, so it goes off even if I have my turn signal on. And then now we have speed, where it will send a message to your dispatcher every time you're doing more than 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, which is a problem. I'll tell you why. There's a few issues I've seen with this system so far, and that I had seen before they started monitoring it, because before they didn't monitor it. Now they are, which is going to be a pain in the ass. I can tell you why. For one, it picks up minimum speed limit signs. Like, there's states, especially Georgia. Georgia has a lot of them, where they'll have a separate sign on their highway. They'll have the speed limit sign, which is normally 70, and then after that they'll have a minimum speed sign, which is 40. Well, it'll pick up that 40 miles an hour and tell them that I'm doing 65 in a 40, which is ridiculous. It also picks up exit ramp speed limits, which is ridiculous when you're going past exit ramps. It picks up school zones, which is annoying, especially when it's not a school zone, because then you're sitting there doing 15 miles an hour over the speed limit in a school zone when it's not even, you know, a school zone. Like, you know, the signs aren't flashing or whatever. It's not school time. So that's ridiculous. And it will pick up, a lot of places have a speed limit sign, like a warning before the actual speed limit changes. Like, it'll have a little sign that says, you know, 40, if you're in a 55, it'll say 45-mile-an-hour zone ahead or something like that, or it'll just be like a 45-mile-an-hour thing with an arrow pointed to it saying, look, it's changing up here. Picks up those two. So that is a pain in the ass. And I can tell you, I'm going to get multiple phone calls because of all those things, because I won't go more. For us, a safe speed to go without it triggering is 4 miles an hour over, which I'm limited at 65, so on the highway it's not really possible for me to do it unless it's a 55 zone or a 60 zone, which, let's face it, there's not a whole lot of those. You know, so I'll do, like in a 60 zone, I'll do between 63 and 64. In a 55 zone, I'll do 58 or 59 because I know it won't trigger that thing and it won't, you know, send the message to my dispatcher and they won't bitch at me. But even when I try to do stuff like that, you know, you get people flying past you, people on CB or ADL, get the fuck out of the way! You know, it's like, I'm in the slow lane, go around. You know, I'm following the speed limit, I have to do this. I don't want to get bitched at by anybody, you know, who has any kind of control over my job. I don't give a shit if you're on the radio bitching at me. Whatever, I'm gonna do my thing, you do your thing. There's a reason why there's multiple lanes here, buddy. But I'm not gonna sit there, like if it's a 60-mile-an-hour zone and there's 4 lanes, you know, I'm not, depending on the area, I'm more than likely gonna be in the right lane because I'm slower than everybody else, because everybody else is still gonna be doing 70 and 75, which is just the way of the world. Now, unless it's a highly populated area, in highly populated areas, I use the second from the right lane all the time, no matter what. I don't care what the speed limit is. I don't care, you know, how much traffic is going on. I'm in the second to right lane because I don't feel like dealing with all the people who are merging on and off and having to slam on the brakes consistently and almost getting into accidents because people are stupid and don't know how to merge. Anyway, that part of the rant's over. So yeah, so they just started doing this whole new speed thing, and it's going to be a problem. You'll hear me bitch about it. I'm sure you'll hear me bitching about it as soon as I get tagged for it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just hanging out here right now, I guess. I don't even think anybody's watching. Is anyone watching? I don't know. It won't let. It just tells me poor connection. Oh, no, nobody's watching. Fine. I'm kidding. Someone will end up watching it afterwards. So what else is going on? I got a side pipe on the Jeep now. It's straight piped. Sounds like a fucking tractor, and I fucking love it. It is a little loud. What I'm planning on ultimately doing is running it. I have a single exhaust because I have the straight 6. I don't have a V8. I'm glad I don't have a 4-cylinder. But I've got the straight 6, so it's got single exhaust on the passenger side. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up rerouting the exhaust. So it's kind of like the classic CJ style, where everyone's seen the CJs with the side pipes. They look badass. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to put, you know, the big heat shield on it or anything like that, like they do with those, because it doesn't exactly look right for my Jeep. But I am going to run it outside of the frame, but still underneath the body. And I'm going to put a glass pack on there, so that way it's a little bit quieter, because it could be considered too loud, and I probably could get pulled over for it. I haven't yet, but that's also because whenever I see a cop, my right foot gets really light. But even still, it's loud. I mean, it sounds like a tractor at low RPMs, and at high RPMs, it sounds like a damn race car. I'm alright with it. I like it, but I don't really want to get pulled over for it. I've got a, somehow, 100% spotless driving record, so I'd rather not, you know, get pulled over for something stupid like that. Now, I could get pulled over for having a side exhaust, but as long as it's not too loud, I doubt it. But it sounds good. If you guys want to see a video of that, I have it on my other channel, Jeepin' Dan. Check it out. Sounds good. It's one. I think it's the last video that I posted over there. But yeah, so that's what's going on with that. It was broke down. Don't remember if I talked about that. Got a bunch of water in a fuel tank from a river crossing, and my fuel pump died. The wires got eaten by a mouse or something. Picked up a new fuel pump, drained the tank out, put new fuel in it, put fuel pump in it, soldered the wires together, because where it was chewed up was actually on the connector on the vehicle side, not on the fuel pump side, unfortunately. So I ended up soldering together just to get it running, because I didn't want to have to wait for another connector to come in, because Mopar didn't have it, parts stores didn't have it, and I could only find it online. So I just said, screw it, I'll solder everything together. If I really want to, I'll go ahead and buy the connector and splice everything together. Then I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is, because it works. Why fix something if it ain't broke? And if that fuel pump goes bad, or more so when that fuel pump goes bad, I will go ahead and order the connectors for it and do it the right way. But for now, it's not done the right way, but it's also not really done the wrong way either, because I could have just twisted the wires together and put some electrical tape on it, but I actually soldered and heat shrinked everything together, so it's all good. I don't normally half-ass shit when it comes to vehicle wiring, because I know certain things you don't want half-assed on your vehicle, especially not wiring. And I don't, for one, it's for the fuel pump, I don't want to start a fire, and for two, I don't want the wires just separating while I'm driving down the highway and then my Jeep cuts out. So I did it the right way, or the better way, I should say. I guess the right way would be replacing the connectors and everything else. So I did it the better way than I could have. I did not half-ass, put it that way. Other things going on with the Jeep. I was gonna make it a really cool badass off-roader, blah blah blah, 6-inch long arm lift kit, all this other thing, you know, 35-inch tires, whatever, or 37s I think I was gonna go with. Not doing that anymore. My phone's running out of battery even though it's plugged in. I don't know why, but we're down to 9%. So this video is not going to last very much longer because the phone's going to die. But anyhow, I'm going to go with more of a hot rod style with this Jeep. I'm still going to make it a little bit better for off-roading purposes. I am going to put a 2.5-inch lift kit on it. It's got 31-inch tires right now. I'm going to go up to 33s. That 2.5-inch lift will be more than good for that. I don't have any lift at all, and it's actually, the suspension is saggy because it's 15 years old and original suspension 100%, so it's sagging quite a bit. That 2.5-inch lift kit will probably be more like a 3.5 to 4-inch lift kit by the time it's done. Just because of the sag and everything that's going on, because it's just so old. But I like lower center gravity. It's better for stability. Lower center gravity with bigger tires. Technically, if you have a smaller size lift with bigger tires on it, it will technically lower your center of gravity because of your unsprung weight being more. It'll help keep it planted better. Physics, whatever, blah blah blah. I've looked into all this, done a lot of research. I've seen guys put 37s on a 2-inch lift, which is ridiculous, but it actually works really well. It keeps it from not being so top heavy and floppy, which I would much rather have, because I don't spend all my time off road. I do a lot of street driving with it, and I want it to still handle decently. And it should, because I'm going from a 31 10.5 to a 33 12.5, even with the 2-inch lift, the handling should still be comparable to what it is now. so that's what I'm doing with that. Gonna put a 488 rear in it. It's gonna get either 488 or 513 gears in the rear. Well, and also the front. People are gonna be like, good Lord, that's a lot for 33s. Yes, it is. But it'll be good for crawling, and it'll make my Jeep a damn rocket ship. I'm also planning on doing a 4.7 liter stroker at some point. I was going to do a V8 swap. I'm not going to do that anymore. It's possibly going to be carbureted, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It depends on how well the stroker goes. I don't know whether or not. See, the biggest problem is tuning the computer, and it's kind of hard from what I've read to tune the factory Jeep computer. I don't want to spend a whole lot of money on an aftermarket standalone fuel system because those are ridiculously expensive, and putting a chip in it. They do have tuner chips specifically for strokers made by Hesco. Even those are over $1,000, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. So I'm thinking maybe just a carburetor with an MSD ignition box. That could work for what I'm doing, because obviously, you know, making a stroker, I'm gonna put a bigger cam in it and stuff like that. So it'll be something. And I have seen some 4 liters run, some 4.7 strokers run with carbureted, and they have been really nice. And I think I have everything I need to do the conversion just with what I have. I think all I need to do is put a older style intake on it, and I think I just need to plug a couple holes up and then slap a carburetor on it, and that should be it. And get an MSD box, which, what, like $500, something like that, a lot cheaper. So that's a possibility. I don't know. One thing people are going to say, well, you're not going to be able to get it inspected, or someone's going to make a comment about emissions. For one, I don't have emissions where, well, okay, hang on, back up. Where I live, technically, we do have emissions. It's not registered technically where I live. It's registered where I used to live, so I don't have to do emissions. This is kind of a segue into the next topic. We're moving. We're moving, hopefully, to probably somewhere around Bristol, Tennessee. So I'm not going to have to worry about inspections anymore either. Let me go get my other charger real quick, because for some reason this one ain't doing it. So let me grab my other charger. 2 seconds. I don't know why this damn charger ain't charging worth the shit. We'll go ahead and swap this out. Yes, I know I have 7% for some reason. Alright. Let's plug this one in. This one should actually keep it charged and charge it at the same time. I'm going to grab a Coke too. It's going to be a little bit longer of a video. I got some stuff to talk about. Just picked up a 12-pack of Coke over here at the truck stop. Where's it open at? Right there. Yes, I do use the little open flappy thing in these Coke things. Let me clean up a little bit too. Sorry I'm doing all this on camera. I'm just like, I hate my truck being a mess. It's a mess right now and I hate it. So I'm going to clean it up a little bit. At least enough to where I'm happy with it, or at least not so bothered by it. Alright, crack that open. I wish it was a beer. Anyhow, so I'm not gonna have to worry about emissions or inspections once we move to Tennessee, which would be great. So no worries about that. I can do a carburetor swap and it's not a problem. Some people will say, well, why would you spend all the money on doing a carburetor swap when fuel injection is so much more, it's so much better, and it's so much blah 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 and this, that, the other. Look, alright, First of all, I don't know nothing about computers. We'll put it that way. It's amazing that I figured out how to live stream. Second of all, I grew up on carburetors. So stuff like that is easy for me to do. And in reality, it can be as efficient as fuel injection as long as you know what you're doing. Which I do. Kind of out of frame. Oh, phone's moving. No wonder why I'm out of frame. Son of a bitch! I can't stay. Son of a bitch. Alright. That's better. So I do know what I'm doing when it comes to carburetors. I am going to do it right if I do it, and it will be, I mean, fuel efficiency, it's all relative, honestly. I mean, if you're building a motor to have more horsepower, stuff like that, you think you're going to care about fuel efficiency? I mean, come on. Then other people are going to say, oh, well, you know, they don't start in the winter time and all this other stuff. How do you think people did it for years? I mean, we just started using fuel injection, what, in late 80s? I mean, some vehicles had it before that. I understand that. Not every vehicle did. Most vehicles were still carbureted up until around 85, 86, when they really started mass producing cars with fuel injection. So, I don't think there's going to be a problem at all with me starting it in the wintertime. If I do have a problem with it, for preemptive measures, I'll just put a block heater in. Make it a little easier to start. So, there we go. But I'm not super worried about it. It's not something that I'm really too hard pressed on, because eventually, I mean, I do want to kind of keep it my daily driver, and get another Jeep, because I do want to have something that's, you know, badass off-roader. I want to build something with a 6-inch long arm lift kit or what have you, something that'll go over anything. Hey, how's it going, JD Hewitt? Thanks for dropping by. But yes, I do want to go ahead and do that. Just because I still think it's cool. But this particular build is going to be something completely different. And as well, you can follow along on everything that I do on my other channel, Jeep and Dan. That's where I post everything else. This is just solely the Dippin channel. And kind of I kind of come over here to talk and vent and blah blah blah, this, that, and the other. Certain things that I can't do on my other channel. Because I like to keep my other channel PG-13 at the most. Just because there's a lot of people that I know watch it. They have kids. I know they watch it from time to time. So that's why I try to keep that one a little bit more family friendly. This one, not a whole lot of people know I have it. So it's kind of my whatever, do the fuck whatever I want channel. So anyway, whatever, but yeah, that one. So back to moving. Should be around the second week of December we're going to try to move. Our lease is up at the end of the year. So we're thinking about probably Bristol, Tennessee. I've been there, I don't think my wife has before. I like it, it's a nice place. We were looking at apartments over there. I think the most expensive one that we found so far is I think it was like $650 or something like that, which is kind of insane considering the fact that we're paying total with everything about $1,200 a month for our rent right now. Their normal price that we've been looking at around there is somewhere between $350 and $450, which is outstanding. So if we can cut that down, that'll be great. Give us a lot of extra money to save for a house, which is the ultimate plan. I don't know, we're just getting real tired of where we live. The people are ridiculous. We don't relate to anybody who's around. I mean, we got family there, and that's about it. But there's not really a whole lot that's holding us back from moving. So we figured, why not? Why not make a better life for us, somewhere that we want to be, and eventually raise kids there? I mean, that fucking makes sense to me. So that's what we're looking at. I know I was, last time I talked about it, we were kind of on the fence between Kentucky and Tennessee. We've decided on Tennessee now. So I think for a couple reasons. For one, it is where we're looking, it's a little bit closer to our family. You know, we still have all our family in Virginia, and you know, it'll just make it a little bit easier for family visits and such. And then other than that, I mean, I don't know, it's just, I feel more drawn to Tennessee than I do Kentucky for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, I don't have anything against Kentucky. I love both the states. But, you know, I feel like for some reason that we might be a little happier in Tennessee than Kentucky. I don't know, maybe it's just personal preference, I'm not sure. But anyhow, what else are we going to talk about? What else do I have to talk about? I don't know. I really don't. Shit. Of course, once someone once someone joins the stream, I run out of shit to talk about. I've been up for 36 minutes already, almost 37, and I've talked about pretty much everything already. I don't know, what else can we talk about? Oh, I am going to be looking for a local job when we move. That's another thing I can talk about. You know, I like being out on the road, but it gets to a certain point where you're like, all right, I want to be home more. It'd be nice to see my wife every night when I come home from work. And I know a lot of people do it, but that's funny. What's so wrong with it, JD Hewitt? I don't know, I like it. It's better than where I live right now. In a lot of ways. But it's kind of hard to start a family and to run a family efficiently. That sounds weird, but in a way it's true, when you're not home. So I mean, even if I had a job that I was home just on the weekends, every weekend, it'd be better than what I have now. I mean, I understand I'm going to take a little bit of a pay cut because of it, which I'm okay with. I mean, I'm honestly even looking for other options than being on the road. Like I've been even looking into some yard jockey stuff. I mean, they don't get paid what I do right now, but at least I'd be home every night. I mean, you kind of take the good with the bad. You know, I've been looking at local delivery jobs and stuff of that nature. I mean, hell, I could go around a cement mixer. I mean, that would work fine and still be home every night. Actually, those guys don't get paid too bad either. You hate the winters? Well, yeah, I hate winter too. I hate cold in general. So, but I don't know how it is comparatively to where I live in Virginia, but I know we get some cold ass winters. I think this past winter we had, it wasn't very snowy, but it was cold as hell. I think the coldest it dropped down to was like -6, and that was ridiculous. That is true. That's another thing. Yeah, I was just talking about that, about the emissions and stuff like that, JD. Technically, where I live, you need them, but my Jeep is registered in a different county, in the county that I used to live in, so I don't have to go through all that, thankfully. I do have an annual state inspection that I have to do, but like I said, I was talking about it before. We're looking at moving to Bristol, so Tennessee. So no emissions still, and also no state inspections, which is great. And plus, my Jeep wouldn't pass inspection anyway because it's straight piped. Well, it wouldn't pass emissions because it's straight pipe. It wouldn't pass inspection because it's a side pipe. Yeah. So there's that issue. But I'm in Kentucky a lot because of my job. We have one of our main distribution plants is in Cromwell, Kentucky. I'm not sure what part of Kentucky you're from, or if you even know where Cromwell, Kentucky is, but I'm in Kentucky quite a bit because of that, and I like it, but like I said, I'm a little bit more drawn to Tennessee. Don't know why. Woo. Shit, what time is it? Oh, it's only 11:15. Almost, well, 11:10, whatever. Oh, I've got, what, somewhere around 5-ish hours to go before I gotta do anything, which is kind of nice. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, I know exactly where all those places is. How do you deal with Lexington? Do you live in the city of Lexington? Because every time I go through there, it is so much of a clusterfuck. It drives me nuts. I haven't personally been to Richmond or Ashland, but I know where they are. It's funny because we also have a Richmond and an Ashland, Virginia, we got Richmond here and Ashland, and then a little bit further north, that's where I live. So that's it. I always thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, Lexington, it personally for me, it's kind of a pain in the ass, at least in this to get through. But I don't know. Oh. Let's see, can I do this? Show. Wait a minute. There's gotta be a way that I can. Oh shit, I'm doing this again. No, I don't want to do that. How is it? There's gotta be a way that I can keep the text chat up. I've done it before. Hide and show. No, that doesn't do nothing. Shit. I still haven't worked out all the bugs on this thing. Yes, it can be annoying. Also live in Nicholasville. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that area. I'm trying to think. Shit, I don't even know what part of the state that's in. But oh, come on. Now it might. It's still being fucky. This is ridiculous. It's just like I'm wearing pants, right? Oh, no. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know that area too well. I've never been. Like I said, I spent a lot of time in Cromwell. And also, I guess the more eastern side of Kentucky. Oh, it's right next to Lexington. Okay. Okay, well that makes sense. But yeah, my normal route when I go through there, I go from Cromwell, take the Western Kentucky Parkway out east, and then normally I'll hop on the Bluegrass Parkway to head up through Lexington to get to 64. I've recently stopped doing that because it's such a pain in the ass to go through Lexington that I actually normally prefer to go around Louisville than go through Lexington, which is kind of bad, but just because of the summertime traffic and everything, Lexington is just a bear for me to get through, and the bypasses around Louisville actually are better. So I'll take the WK over to what is that, 65? I think is there, or is it 69? I can't remember. Up to Louisville, and then I'll hit 65. I think it's 65. And then I'll run 64 because $75. Okay. That's over there, Lexington, isn't it? I think. Not sure. I don't think I don't use 75 very much. I mainly run. Okay, that's what I thought. I mainly run 64 as my main route because I'll run from Cromwell all the way out to Norfolk to the port in Virginia. So at this point I'll run WK up to the 65, take that all the way out to 64 in Louisville, and then run that all the way through Kentucky, through West Virginia, and the entirety of Virginia, and head out to the port, because 64 takes me directly to the port. So, but yeah, I don't mess with Lexington in the summertime, and in the off season, once you get fall and winter, it's a little bit better, but in the summertime, it's kind of a pain. So I'll stay away. Once all the kids go back to school and the college students and everything, it makes it a lot easier because there's not as much traffic on the roads. So I'll probably end up going back through Lexington once it gets a little bit later into the fall. What was it? There's one area that's really nice. Really nice. There's a nice truck stop there. I don't know about the nicety of the area entirely. I can't remember what it's called for some reason, for the life of me now. It's just east of Lexington. It's a big industrial park there. I can't remember the name of it to save my life. But there's a little mom and pop truck stop. I think it's I want to say it's, what was that called? The Kentucky 98 truck stop or something around there, or 96 truck stop. I can't remember it. I've stopped there more than once just because I'm getting tired of stopping at all these chain truck stops. Pilot Flying J and the Petro and the TA. You get tired of all the corporate bullshit. And it's nice to stop at some of the smaller truck stops every once in a while. And there's one out that way that I stop at. I can't remember the name of it. It's right over there. It's right next to that big ass algae plant. I can't remember the name of the town to save my life. I don't know why. But nice old school truck stop, dirt lot and everything, and most people are like, oh, it's a shithole. It's been that way since 1965 or whatever. It's like, well, I mean, would you rather have it turned into a pilot? I mean, come on. I wouldn't. I mean, shit, you can go in there. Last time I was in there, I got a double cheeseburger, fries, and a Coke for, I think it was $5. You can't do that anywhere else. And it was good, and it was made right there in front of me on the grill. And I mean, they had some good food in there. I mean, yeah, the restrooms are outdated. I didn't take a shower there, so I don't know how well those were kept up or if they even had it. But it's probably been there forever, so it's probably been that way since it started, and I don't think they need to change anything. And there's always spots there, which is nice. I think I stopped there at like 1 o'clock in the morning when every other truck stop is completely full. You got trucks parking on ramps and shit. Some of these places, it's actually nice to be able to know the areas that you go to, and it's kind of nice that I kind of frequent certain places because you get to know certain areas and kind of figure out, okay, this truck stop is going to be full. This one might have a couple parking spots, but it's not always 100%. But this one over here, a little bit further out or a little bit closer, always has spots. So go ahead and park there. It doesn't matter what time of day. So it's kind of nice to be able to do stuff like that. But I do want to get to the point where I don't have to worry about doing that. I want to get to the point where I can wake up in the morning, put my clothes on, grab my lunchbox, get in the Jeep, drive out to wherever I work at, then get in the truck, go out, do my deliveries or whatever, come back there, drop the truck off, take my Jeep, and then go home. I don't want to... That's one thing. I mean, I've been doing it for... Let's see, my year anniversary is the 7th next month. The 7th of September is my 1-year anniversary. And, you know, I mean, it's been a good experience. And, you know, it's kind of nice to have a little change of pace every once in a while. Do some things that you've never done before. And I think it was a really smart decision for me. You know, it helped me get into a career that now I have so many options out here. I mean, I have hundreds to even thousands of options at this point of what I can go and do. Everyone's hiring truck drivers right now, so it's a great profession to get into if you can do it. That's the other thing. You have to be able to do it. Some of these drivers out here should not be on the road. Right on. Was he now was he a local? Like, did he drive locally, or did he drive, you know, over the road, or I guess long haul, or whatever you want to call it? Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good opportunity. If you can do the job, if you know you can do it, I would say go ahead and give it a shot. Anybody. But he long hauled? Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't know if I could do long haul for 30 years. Just because I guess some people can do it, and people do it all the time. But for me, I have to have time with my family, and if I have kids, I'm gonna want to spend as much time as I can with them. I don't want to be out on the road. And you know, for some people it works. For some people, they don't have a problem with being out on the road all the time. And you know, right now I don't really. I would like to see my wife more, but I guess in a way it makes our time together more appreciated. But once we decide to, you know, expand and really settle down and start a family, then I'm going to want to be home. I mean, I've heard many times from guys, oh, yeah, you know, when my first child was born or my second child was born, I was completely across the country. So, yeah, exactly. Like my wife's grandpa was a truck driver. I don't remember how many years he did it, but he did it for as long as he was able to physically. And he was out. I'll never forget her grandmother. She's an interesting woman. She said, she told me, she goes, I know exactly how and when my wife's uncle was conceived and so on, because her husband was home for one day in such and such year in July, and that was it. So she knew right away. I'm like, well, and she said, but he wasn't home for neither my wife's mother's birth or her uncle's birth. So I'm like, I kind of want to be there for that. That's kind of an important thing for me. So, but I don't know. I mean, some people can do it. Some people just, you know, I mean, I don't mind it because, you know, I kind of have my own space to myself. You know, I can pretty much do whatever I really want to. I can keep my truck however I want it without having someone sitting there, oh, well, we should do this or we should do that. That is kind of nice, but then again, you know, I guess in a way my truck is kind of like my rolling man cave. So that aspect of it is nice. You know, if I want to be alone, I can actually be alone. But there are times that I don't want to be alone, and I am alone. So that's that's really what it boils down to. So I mean, I don't know, but I don't know. I've got a lot of options. I got to see what they have to offer down there in Bristol. I'm sure even if I don't get a job in Bristol, there's a ton of stuff around that way, and I've looked on job sites and stuff like that for Tennessee, and the amount of trucking jobs they have is amazing. There are hundreds of trucking jobs right now posted in Tennessee right now. So if you're looking for a job in Tennessee, just go look on a job website. There's a ton of them. I couldn't believe it, you know, and they were all local, and I think there was about 150 of them that were local. I was like, holy shit. You know, anything from delivery drivers to, you know, local tank drivers to, I don't know, like you know, cement mixer drivers and yard jockeys even, which, I mean, like I said before, that would be a decent pay cut, but I would still be home every night. But there's just a lot, and the experience ranges. I mean, most of them are, you just need a year of experience of long haul or over the road or whatever you want to call it, which come September I'll have, which is good. Some places it's either 2 years of experience or 6 months driving experience and graduation from an accredited trucking school, which I have both of those right now. Well, not the 2 years, but I have the second option right now. So shit, I could go get a job right now if I wanted to, but we don't live there yet. So but yeah, so there's a lot of options for me. I'm just waiting on the time that we can actually move. So, and the nice thing is, with it being a little bit cheaper down there, and with my job flexibility, I can keep my job. My wife can quit hers, and we can move, and she doesn't really have to get a job right away when we get down there, which is great, and we'll still have extra money, which is that. I think that's one of the big factors. Is it's a lot cheaper to live down there than it is where I live now. It's ridiculously expensive where I live. So I don't know. Well, hey, if you want to do it, I'd say go for it. I mean, I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It's hard. It can be hard. It's definitely not the most easy job in the world, and even what I do isn't the hardest trucking job that there is out there. I mean, there's a whole list of other ones that are even harder than what I do, and even still sometimes it's hard for me, but you know, I think it's good. It's a good experience, and I don't know, I've always been the kind of person who I need to know that what I do, you know, work-wise, actually benefits or furthers along the economy or something or another. Like before, I was a mechanic, and in that, you know, you kind of need mechanics, especially these days, considering no one knows how to work on a fucking car anymore. But yeah, no. That's the biggest misconception that everyone has about truck driving. But yeah, no, I just need to for me, I need to know that what I do for a living helps further at least, you know, the economy or the country, or helps it keep rolling, basically, because that's what I do. You know, if we weren't out here, the country would come to a standstill, which, by the way, that's another thing I'm going to talk about in a minute. But yeah, no, the biggest misconception, which what you said, JD, that people have is, oh, truck drivers have it easy. All they do is sit in a truck all day and drive. No, that is not all we do all day. Well, in a way, that's kind of what we do, but it's not as simple as that. We have a lot of things that we have to plan and to keep control of, basically, in order to get our loads there on time. We have deadlines we have to meet. We have federal regulations such as, you know, hours of service and stuff like that we have to make sure that we're adhering to, which can be a pain in the ass. You know, we have to deal with, it's a lot of time management. Like right now, this load, this is one of the easiest ones that I've had because of how much extra time that I have. My appointment isn't until 6:15 in the morning, and I got here at 6:30 this morning, so I had a lot of extra time on this load. Yeah, DOTBS, exactly. But it's, you know, it's not just sitting in a truck and driving. You have to plan everything out. You have to, for one, plan for traffic, because traffic is the biggest killer for us. It's ridiculous. I mean, people think, oh, you know, it's just, you're just driving, you know, whatever. A lot of people think, oh, it's just a truck, he's in a way, he's just driving around. Well, for one, you got product in your trailer most of the time. For me, being a reefer driver, I have to consistently make sure that my reefer is running, it's at the correct temperature, and it's holding that temperature. I gotta make sure it's fueled up. If it runs out of fuel, we're fucked. I haven't had that happen yet. I'm sure I will by the time I'm done. I haven't had it happen yet because I'm always focused. That's one of the biggest things is I got to keep my truck and my trailer fueled up. You know, we got to deal with appointment times. We got to deal with parking, which is a lot easier said than done. We have to deal with ridiculous people on the roads. That by far is the most challenging part of this job, is dealing with these people out here on the roads who think, oh, they're just sitting in a truck driving. There's a lot more things you have to consider. For one, fully loaded, I weigh 80,000 pounds. The standard, your standard four-door sedan weighs 3,500 to 4,000 pounds, somewhere around there, roughly. I'm making an estimate. Which means my truck weighs what 20 of your sedans weighs. So, for one, it takes me a lot longer to get up to speed. For two, I am 75 feet long with an articulation about 20 feet back. That's, yeah, not always easy. And for three, it takes forever for me to stop. People think, oh, he's got 18 wheels. He's got 18 set of brakes. No. I have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 brakes on this truck. They're all drum brakes and they're all air powered. So, it takes, what, the length of a football field for me to stop from 65 miles an hour. About the length of a football field, maybe a little bit longer depending on the circumstance. So that's one thing you have to consider. You have to consider 80,000 pounds. You have to consider shitty brakes. Because, I mean, compared to a car's brakes, I mean, yeah, these things are designed, the brakes are designed for these trucks, but they're not good by any means. I mean, I have, in comparison, the best brakes that I have on this truck, which actually my brakes are pretty good on this truck compared to some other guys. But in comparison, I would say the brakes on my truck would be like the brakes on a car, if you have no brake pad left and you're sitting there bare metal to metal just scraping by, that's about the stopping power that I have in this truck. So that's the biggest problem, I think, is the stopping distance. You know, you get cars, especially, and I hate it when people do it, and it happens every day, all the time. You're coming up to a traffic jam, you see it in the distance, you're slowing down. You've calculated the distance between where you are and where you have to stop. There's, you know, at the last car, so you're gradually slowing down so you don't burn out your brakes. And then you get 3 cars, because you're slowing down before everyone else, you get 3 cars that fly in front of you and slam on the brakes in front of you. Which people don't understand how dangerous that is, because in our minds we have to calculate, okay, I have this amount of distance to stop, I'm moving this fast, it's going to take me this long to stop, you know, so I don't burn out my brakes. I'm going to go ahead and slow down so that way I don't burn out my brakes and potentially kill whoever's in front of you. And then you get these idiots who are just cutting in front of you because you're driving slow, even though everyone else in front has stopped. I hate that. Traffic lights can be an issue. Traffic lights can be a big issue, especially when they're very fast changing traffic lights. I don't run red lights very often. I only do if I have to. I have done it if I have to. I had one situation. I was out in Delaware. I had just gotten loaded. I was like, I think I was 79,000 pounds. I was just below the limit. And I had this car. You know, we were going up a hill, and I knew the light was going to change, so I was already slowing down a little bit. I was letting the hill kind of bleed off some momentum. But the light changed. I said, okay, well, I should be able to stop. However, my trailer brakes were not adjusted correctly. I don't personally adjust my trailer brakes because it can be dangerous. I mean, I know a lot of guys do, but if I have an issue with it, I normally just take it into the shop. Doesn't take that long. But my brakes were out of adjustment. My trailer brakes were out of adjustment. Not to the point where they wouldn't function, just they weren't functioning very well, which on a already not very well functioning braking system can be bad. So I'm putting my foot into the brakes, you know, I'm kind of riding it just right before they lock up, and the lights, you know, the light's yellow, and then it turns red, and I said, okay, I can't stop. There's no way I'm stopping. I'm, you know, 6 car lengths to the traffic light. I'm still doing 37 miles an hour. I'm not going to stop. So here comes this car past me. I'm like, okay, this could be interesting. Then they get in front of me and stop, or are about to stop for the traffic light. I said, oh, hell no. So turn on the high beams, start blowing my horn at them, turn my 4-ways on, start blowing the horn and flashing the lights. Dude finally moves out of the way. I sail through the intersection right before the other lights turn green, and that was probably the closest call that I've had. I mean, if that guy wouldn't have realized what I was trying to tell him, which was get the hell out of the way, otherwise you're gonna die, that would have been a bad situation. I mean, I probably could have maneuvered around him. It would have been close, but if I had to, I would have. But it was just people are stupid. They don't think. And then on the other aspect of it, some people do know. I had another situation where I had to run a red light, similar circumstance, but it was on a downhill, and the light had just turned green, and I saw it turn green, and I was already slowing down because it was red. And it turned green, so I accelerated and I shifted back up through the gears, and it turned back to yellow. I said, oh shit, I'm doing 50. I can't stop for this light. And I had there was a pickup truck who was sitting at the intersection waiting for it to turn green for him. Well, the light turns red for me, and I'm riding the brake, you know, downshifting as much as I can. And at that point, I was too close to the light to even downshift, so I'm just hanging on the brake. And this Sorry, I just got a text message. This the light turns red, and I'm coming. I'm still coming through the intersection. There's nothing I can do to stop. Work van turns green for the other people. Work van flies out. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna hit the work van. I didn't. Pickup truck. Thankfully, what he did, which was extremely smart, because I guess most people are used to trucks going through there, and not all of them being able to stop. This pickup truck, not only did he stay at that traffic light because he saw me, he moved his truck perpendicular, or I guess not perpendicular, but he kind of angled his truck to block the left lane because he was in the right lane. He blocked the right and the left lane so I could go through the traffic light without hitting anybody else, which is amazing. I've never had anybody do that for me except for that guy. And I know he's not watching this video, but if he ever finds it, it was in, where was that? On the Eastern Shore somewhere. Thank you. But anyhow, I think I'm going to end the video. I've been up for about an hour and 10 minutes, so it's quite a while. Yeah, I know, it was amazing. But anyhow, I'm going to get off here, probably take a nap or something. That way I'm not tired tomorrow, even though I don't have all that far to go. So, anyway, I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining JD. I can't really tell if anyone else joined or not, but I will talk to you guys next time. I think what I'm going to do from now on is just stream, because it's easier for me. I don't have to edit. I can just record it, it's up, and then it'll automatically go up later so you guys can watch it too. So, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. Keep your lips fat and your spit black. I'm out. Yes, I want to stop.